Trump's new VP. Who is he?
They announced that J.D. Vance is the vice president. And Rob, if you have any, I'll start off by asking you, Tom, and Vinny, and then I'll give my thoughts, and then we'll go in some of the market, and we'll learn a little bit about J.D. Vance on what he did. Now, J.D. Vance is obviously former Marine. He wrote a book called Hillbilly. What was it called?
Hillbilly Valley or something?
Hillbilly what, Tom? What'd you say? We can't hear you, Tom. You're muted.
That's cool. I don't know a single thing about this guy, so this is all new to me too. That's pretty cool so far. He's a Marine. You ever read the book?
It's called Hillbilly. Tom, say something.
Hillbilly Elegy. E
Yeah,
L E L E G Y. We can't hear Tom at all.
yeah. No, Tom. I think you're being censored intentionally. I think they just don't want you. They don't want to hear what
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Sam
deep
came
state.
in and
Tom,
Yeah,
Tom can't hear you, Tom. Say something.
Tom, it's the deep state.
hello, 1, 2, 3. Am I here?
Tom, Tom,
Tom, Major Tom, come in.
say something. Count to three, Tom.
1, 2, 3. I'm here.
Can't hear Tom. Tom, we can hear you,
Oh,
Tom.
we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Anyway, you know what I noticed? But before we go into JD Vance specifically, here's what I noticed. Did anybody see the wall of Secret Service? They all appear to be at least 6'2". And some of the Secret Service that were on stage appear to have the day off. Did you see the wall that came in, the Secret Service guy? And this is inside the building where everybody's been triple checked with metal detectors. Looks to be a little different.
Tom, your
That's all
thoughts
I
on
have to
JD.
say about that.
Tom, your thoughts on JD Vance.
So my thoughts on JD Vance. First of all, I think it is a very symbolic and very future-setting pick because it's a next generation, right? And it's not someone from Trump and Biden's generation. There's plenty of those in Senate and Congress and governors, state houses to choose from. I think J.D. Vance is a very strong conservative guy, and I think there's an authenticity to him because his own viewpoints have moved as he's been in Washington and as America has moved. Yet I think he's got a very solid spine, a great family, and I think he's a man of integrity. I really like the pick for a lot of reasons. I like the rumors in the comment about Doug. I'll take Doug Burgum as Secretary of Energy, Secretary of State. I'll take him. You know, a very wise guy, strong guy, pairing with J.D. Vance. If that's all I hear in the last 48 hours about the new administration, I'm a very happy guy and very pleased with the J.D. Vance pick.
Vinny.
Well, Pat, like you said, ex-Marine, as being a veteran and coming from a military family, like my brother, my sister, buddy, I love that. I respect that. I know he's, all for America. The one thing that kind of, because mind you, Pat, people think that if you like Trump, you're just a blind loving. No, I have criticisms. One of the first things he said was, he talked about a war with Iran, which is, the last thing that we want to do. I get protecting America, but, when the
True.
Biden administration unfroze $6 billion to get their freaking terrorism campaign going. He said, and I quote, "A lot of people recognize that we need to do something with Iran, but not this weak little bombing runs. If you're going to punch the Iranians, you punch them hard." So again, that type of language that freaking early to me, PBD. I kind of am on the fence with it. Trump didn't start any war.
Makes you uncomfortable. What part of him saying that makes
I
you
just I think you're coming in
Why does it make him uncomfortable? He's kind of right though. You have to stand up to the people who are causing problems, or else they're gonna keep causing more problems.
you just got the nod from Donald Trump.
You know what I'm saying? Like if there's neighborhood kids causing problems, like bullying other people or causing vandalism, if nobody calls the cops on them or, you know, deals with them personally to give them a lesson, then they're never going to learn and they're never going to, they're going to keep causing problems. It's the same exact principle.
I think you're coming in. You just got the nod from Donald Trump, who didn't start any wars, who didn't get us involved anywhere. I understand that where we are Now, because of the Biden administration, it's Israel's doing its thing with Palestine, which I have a whole point of view on that. But like everybody has been pushing to a war with Iran. From Lindsey Graham to all these guys to all the rhinos to everybody on the left to Nikki Haley. They want this war. So I just feel you just got the nod. You're coming in there. You're already talking war with Iran. That's one thing that I have a little problem with. But other than that, I think he's a great guy. So
Yeah.
Yeesh, I haven't heard that name in forever. Nikki Haley.
And I think
I think there's a good reason why we haven't heard of her in a while, dude.
a little problem with. But other than that, I think he's a great guy. So,
yeah. And I think
I think she's just been very quiet.
the biggest thing is to show strength is what he's doing. And I think the comment he made to Sean Hannity in the interview was what Trump did when he took Hassan Soleimani out, and he showed strength immediately. And
Then she was never relevant to begin with, to be honest.
then Iran, fake bombed a place that nobody cares about, that nobody was there just to show strength, and they didn't. I think that's what he meant by that. Well, I have a complete different opinion about this year's 2024 VP candidate. And I said that earlier yesterday on Twitter. Vinny, President Trump could have called you and asked you or Tom to be the VP. He would have made it work. If they announced Vincent Oshana as the vice president choice, they would have said, for a couple days, they would write all these weird articles about you. Or Tom Ellsworth, a couple days, they would have written a couple articles about you. Then they would have moved on. Why am I saying this? This is not to take anything away from JD. JD's a future star of the party. Some people think he's going to run for office. This is a guy that talks about his grandmother cursed like a sailor, and his mother dealt with drugs and alcohol, and she had challenges with that, but she's been sober for over 10 years. And then his father was abusive, and both him and his mother experienced domestic violence, what it was like apparently, because the father was very abusive. Gets out, goes to the Marines 4 years, then goes to Ohio State University, I believe, then goes to Yale.
It's a very unfortunate situation.
Which, by the way, at Yale, him and Vivek went to school together, and he's got 3 kids. JD Vance has got 3 kids, of which one of his kids is named Vivek. I believe his youngest kid is named Vivek.
oh wow.
And they came from the same school. By the way, Rob, I don't know if you have a picture of him. And if you type in Vivek Ramaswamy and JD Vance, Yale, you'll see a picture of them next to each other, including one other name, by the way, which is Pete Buttigieg. While they were,
Don't know who he is.
I don't. I think there
I know who Vivek is, but I don't know who the other guy is.
is a picture of Pete Buttigieg, but I think that's when they were asking a presidential candidate a question. Well, you should be able to pull up a picture of JD Vance and Vivek. And when they asked Vivek, Vivek immediately said, "Great choice. Couldn't have gone better. This is a legacy. The best duo." Vivek, the reaction he had was such a classy reaction on the way he went about it. But let me get back to this. The reason why I say it doesn't matter who was the VP choice, obviously, I'm being a little bit to try to make my point sarcastic that it doesn't matter at all. You need somebody that is qualified. But the point is, this is 99% Trump, 1% VP.
Yep.
This isn't 2016, which was 80% Trump, 20% VP, because they wanted a Christian, stable guy come in so the conservatives could at least vote for Mike Pence. They're not voting this time for Mike Pence. They're not voting for JD Vance. Now,
Yeah.
this is a very big pick for JD Vance.
100% he's right about that. Nobody's gonna care who he picks. They're just voting for Trump at this point.
Very big pick for JD Vance. Life changing. When he was asked, what do you think your role is as a VP? He says, well, the president can't be everywhere at the same time. He's going to need me to help him out in any areas he needs me to. And also, the job of a VP is if something happens to the president, you have to be ready for the call. And he says, I don't think anything's going to happen to the president because he's very healthy. I've never seen a more energized person at his age. He is so energized. Even after he was shot, when he called me to say I'm going to be the VP, had a long conversation with my son, 5-minute conversation with my 7-year-old son, while we're in the moment celebrating, oh my God, you're going to be the VP. He's willing to do those additional things that most people are not willing to do. And you got to respect that. And in the interim, Kamala Harris called him to congratulate him. Apparently, he didn't pick up the call. Obviously, busy goes to message. But Brett Baer, which I think is the right way to do it, is immediately call out all the stuff. And Sean Hannity brought up all the stuff. It's the right way to do it. You said this about Trump. You said this about abortion. You said this about this. And he has to be able to answer those questions. Rob, I think you got one of the clips with Brett Baer. If you want to prepare it and play it, I think it's important for the audience to see for some of them that didn't catch it. If you do have it, go on and play the clip. Go for it.
This is an evolution, and I know you've been asked about this before, about past comments that you've made about Donald Trump. You've said, I'm a never Trump guy, never liked him, terrible candidate, idiot if you voted for him, might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole, cultural heroine, noxious and reprehensible. Those are things that this is an evolution.
So, you know, you hear a clip like that, and then Politico does a story saying 52 things, 55 things, as if, they couldn't just do it with like 10 things. They decide to do a story, Politico saying 55 things you don't know about J.D. Vance. Rob, if you want to pull up the clip, we'll go through it with him. One, he wrote in his hillbilly elegy, I'll be the first to admit that I've accomplished nothing great in my life, okay? I'm not a senator, this is at the time. I'm not a governor or former cabinet secretary. I haven't started a billion-dollar company or world-changing nonprofit. That's Political saying that. Number two, in 2015, 2 years after graduating from Yale, Vance joined Mithril Capital, venture capital firm run by Silicon Valley, Scion Peter Thiel. Okay, that's a good thing to have that kind of experience working. 2016, he announced his plans to move back to Ohio from California to start our Ohio Renewal, a nonprofit dedicated to making it easier to disadvantaged children to achieve their dreams. Good. November 2022, he was elected to U.S. Senate from Ohio with the help of $10 million donations from Thiel. Okay, it was his first public office. 5, on Monday, he was named Trump's running mate. 6, reflecting on his first encounter with Thiel in 2011, he wrote, Thiel articulated a feeling that I was obsessed with achievement in not as an end to something meaningful, but to win a social competition. My worry that I had prioritized striving over character took a heightened significance. Striving for what? 7, he was born James Donald Bowman on August 2nd of 1984 in Ohio, an industrial city 30 miles north of Cincinnati and 20 miles south of Dayton. 8, his maternal grandparents, Jim and Bonnie Vance, known as Papa and Mama, moved to Middleton late 40s from Jackson, Kentucky, a town in the heart of Southeast Kentucky coal region. Jim was Bonnie. And by the way, this can keep going on. She was 13 years old and pregnant with Jim's child. They were unmarried at the time. When you go through all of these stories, his book turned into a movie, became a bestseller. The more and more you learn about this guy, the more and more you start there and say, okay, maybe this guy's a unique guy that's going to be able to pull something off and get some results with what he's got going on. I'll also add this with everything with J.D. Vance. While the idea of who Trump picks as a VP is not as important today as it was in 2016. And on top of that, this month, July 30th at 6 p.m., I'm doing a Zoom in regards to the AI revolution, which we're going to release a white paper, which we'll give to you. If you haven't yet registered for that either, here's a QR code to get registered for the event that we're going to be having. It's a private webinar. It's only limited to 3,000 people. It's not something that's going to be available to everybody. It's first come, first serve. You register, you'll be able to be to everybody. It's first come, first serve. You register, you'll be able to be a part of it.
Sorry about that. I had to do something real quick.
Rob, if you have that flyer to show for the AI Revolution Zoom that we're hosting as well, so people can go on the QR code and get registered, that'd be great. It's that right there. Just go on that QR code, registered for it. AI's here for business. A lot of people are leveraging it to win and take their businesses to the next level. It's how we took our business to take the valuation of it 3x more than what it was. We went from 5 times EBITDA to 15 times EBITDA. We're doing this webinar this month, free, but you got to make sure you get a spot on it. Again, July 30th, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the QR code to get registered.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
That was pretty sick. I learned a little bit about that guy. Not enough for me to really pay much mind to it, though. It's just, it's just another vice president, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, I'm always in pain and the burden of living is always too much when my death feels so imminent. Now all my memories feeling so vivid, I'm haunted by trauma that pays me in dividends. Making new money